Hello, I'm Austin, and today I want to talk about why you should play Dispatch. But before I get really into it, please give me a like and comment on why you like Dispatch or haven't played it yet, because it's a great game and you should. And give me a follow, because it helped me out tremendously. But with that, let's get into why you should be playing Dispatch, because I love this game. I played it all last night, I could not put it down, I had a blast. So let's start with one of the obvious pros. Everybody in this game is sexy as hell. Look at this man. Look at this man and tell me you would not drop your pants for him. It's incredible. But that is obvious. So let's go with some of the less obvious stuff. Again, I could not put this down. I played every single episode in a row, and I loved it. It is addicting. It is a very well-written story and absolutely hilarious. The general concept of the story follows Robert Robertson, which is a phenomenal name, 10 out of 10, no notes, as he transitions from being a hero to being a dispatcher, where he sends out heroes and helps them during their missions. And what makes things difficult is he gets placed with the Z team, who is ex-villains trying to be heroes. So he's got a bunch of bad people who are trying to do good. Now, I will say, it's not the most unique story in the world. It's been told a lot, and it's not full of, twists and turns, but it's very entertaining, very well written, and a smile never left my face. I had a blast the entire way. So this is mostly a Telltale-style game, I guess we're gonna call it now, where it's a lot of you make decisions and things happen, but I will say there is more of, actual core gameplay here than there is with most Telltale titles. The actual core gameplay involves the simulation of the dispatch. You have your cast of heroes, and you have to decide which missions they're sent on based on their skills and what the mission requires. This can take some skill, as it's not always entirely clear which hero is best for which. Each hero has a set of skills, such as strength, intelligence, charisma, speed, that kind of stuff. So depending on how you have spec'd them, you have to decide which goes with which mission. This is really fun and very fast-paced. There's constantly new things popping up throughout your character's shift, and it can honestly be kind of difficult at first to really wrap your head around everything, and that's how it's supposed to be. I also love during the shifts, the characters are constantly chatting. It really makes them feel alive. And also, they have synergy with each other. Certain groups, such as Punch Up and Coop, go better together and will synergize and get better stats. So as the game progresses, and even, obviously, there's the main cutscenes where they are characterized, but also just them talking throughout the day, it really fleshes these guys out and makes them feel like real living characters. Throughout the story, there's also some, really tough choices I had to really, put my head down and think about what I wanted to do. Including, early on, you have to choose one of two characters to be cut from your team. Ooh, that wasn't fun. Did not like that at all. But in a good way. It was a really fun, tough decision. I hated it in the correct way. And in the end, I really just can't stress enough how much Dispatch is an absolute joy from start to finish. I was never bored. I was never rolling my eyes, unless I was meant to. Because there's some cringe in there, but it's meant to be cringe. And every character is just so vivid and well written. I love them all. These are all of my little fuck ups. They belong to me and nobody will hurt them. But as much as I love this game, nothing's perfect. So here are a few of the downsides. As I said, the story is fun, but it is really basic. You're not gonna get any major twists or turns here. It doesn't really push the boundaries of anything. It's just a well-written, fun story. There's nothing wrong with that, but I do prefer stories that do something a little more interesting. But that hardly affected my impact of the game. It does everything else too well. One thing that does kind of suck, the QTEs are garbage, and I don't know why they're in here. The QTEs just have you clicking your mouse at the right time. I played on PC, so it's mouse for me. Or just sliding it. But why? I'm not even sure if failing it affects anything. And you have the option to turn them off, which I suggest, because they're basically only prevalent in the first chapter and the end of the last chapter, and they like barely come up any other time. I'm very confused why they're even in the game. They don't add a whole lot. Turning them off might affect achievements though, so maybe you want them on for a first run through, because this is definitely going to be a 2-run game. There's a lot of choices. I'm really curious how they play out the other way. And also, I kind of really sucked at the simulation at some points. I was bad. I did not fully get how to spec my characters. But speaking of that, yes, I messed up, but also the game has a very dumb mechanic that I dislike greatly. So yes, you have stats and they have to, and each mission requires different stats. However, if you're like, this was always combat for me, there's sometimes an X during the missions where if your stat goes too high into that X, you just automatically fail. Why am I being punished for my characters being too good? I'm very confused. I don't like that at all. There's a similar mechanic with a star where if your stat reaches that star, then you get double XP. That makes a lot more sense to me. You're rewarding me for having my characters be good, but why are you punishing me for blah blah? Why are you punishing me for them being good? I'm baffled. I don't understand that mechanic. Get rid of it. I hate it. Another downside, I want more. Why is it over? It was too good. I want more. Obviously, this is a bit of a joke because if I'm complaining I want more of a game, like, you take that as an insult if you want. But it was a little short for $40. Again, I beat it in an evening. Actually, let me pull up my Steam here. What does my Steam hours say? Yeah, it says I beat it in like 8 hours, and it's probably less than that because I pause my game and I go do other stuff like take care of my dog. So honestly, it was probably closer to 6 hours. I don't really take price into account when judging the quality of a game. I'd rather have an incredible 6 to 10 hours for $40 than a mediocre 20 hours. This game was very streamlined, and I don't have a real problem with that, but it is worth noting some people dislike really short games for that kind of price, which when you can only buy a couple games, I don't blame them for, but I don't think it's fair to hold the quality of the game against that. I think the quality is incredible for any price point. Within reason. But yeah, really, that's all I can complain about. I hate the X, and I want more of it. And the QTs are lame, but whatever. They don't really affect anything. I didn't care. They're a mechanic, though, so I would have preferred them to be good, but I'll cry later about it. At the end, though, I just really can't recommend this game enough. This is easily a Game of the Year nominee for me. It's still going to be Expedition 33, but this game should have got a nomination. It's phenomenal. I had so much fun. I really hope we get more of it. I don't know if we get like a season 2 or maybe some DLC. Also, I think it'd be really fun. I would love a more of like fleshed out version of the simulation mode. Because it's obviously a part of this game, but it's a more like just a gameplay segment. And it progresses the story in some ways. But I just really, really want more of it. I think it's a very fun idea, and I would love to see it fleshed out into its like own game, its own thing. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, I love to hear from you guys. Please let me know what you guys think of Dispatch. If you think it's as good as I do, if you think it's Game of the Year, if you didn't like it for some reason. I just want to hear from you. I love to hear your guys' thoughts. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day. I'll see you later.